Hello everyone. Let's wait a little bit and see if someone is online, and then we're gonna start.
We are telling your followers that you have started live.
Yeah.
Alright, so
All
Vinicius.
right.
Hello Vinicius.
We already have some people online. If you can just confirm if you are
Listening to us perfectly, just
Yeah.
thumbs up. And that's it. We'll start in a few minutes.
great.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Arthur.
Arthur. Okay, we are having some more people joining us.
I'm listening, guys.
Thank you, Arthur, again. Ali. Okay, let's start. We are gonna record it, so it will be available on our IGTV. I'm Fernanda. I'm the manager for Information Planet, and we are today here at Information Planet Adelaide. For those who doesn't know Information Planet, we are an agency for international students. We have over 23 years in the market with 7 offices in Australia, including Adelaide, Sydney mainly, Brisbane, Melbourne, Perth, and Brisbane. We offer a range of services for all international students from different nationalities. So if you need any help with a student visa, with your school and courses, just contact us. Today we are going to talk about the migration pathway focused on carpentry courses. I have here Mitch Paradella from Skills Australia Institute.
Hello everyone.
He will explain everything about this course and the outcomes. And later we are gonna have Claudio from 7 Migration, and Claudio will focus on the migration pathway
Outcomes of the
properly.
course.
Yeah.
Yes.
So thank you, Mitch, for coming.
Thank you. Thanks, Fernanda, for having me. Thanks for giving us this opportunity to introduce our courses, our college. For those who don't know who I am, I'm Mitch Paradella. I'm the marketing manager of Skills Australia. So we are a vocational college focused on trade courses. So we offer a variety of courses such as automotive, carpentry, telecommunications, childcare, business, cookery, childcare I said already. Well, telecommunications, I did say that. Telecommunications network engineering. So we've been in the market since 2017. We do have 2 campuses in Perth, one in West Perth and one in Perth CBD, and one here in Adelaide at the CBD, Grenfell Street, where we're located, easy public access and everything. So yeah, today we'll be focusing on the carpentry course in particular. So if you have any questions about the course, what are the requirements, what do you need to start the course, what English requirements or anything, please just send your questions so we can answer you at the end of the live, okay?
Cool. Which options of courses in this carpentry field do we offer at the moment? It's just the certificate 3.
So the qualification that we're focusing on at the moment with carpentry is the certificate 3 qualification, certificate 3 level. So it's the entry level for the carpenter qualification. Okay, so it is a 2 years program. All right, so to go a bit more, go deeper on this course, as it is a 2 years program, it is divided, let's say, in 8 blocks. Okay, to make it be easier for you guys to understand how is the program, how it works. During these 8 blocks, the first 2 blocks will be pretty much the basic preparation for you to understand the basic knowledge, how to operate. So it will be pretty much more theoretical. And then when you start the 3rd up to the 6th block, will be a mix of practical and theoretical classes, okay?
Okay.
After that, you have the placement, which will start on block 7 and block 8. So it is included 480 hours vocational placement throughout the course, which you'll be doing at the end of the course. All right. So it'll be pretty much 6 months just doing vocational placements, where you don't need to come back to the college for classes, not theoretical, not practical. Will be just focused on the placement. Okay.
Oh, okay. So the course takes 2 years to
2 years
graduate.
total. Yes,
so
that's right. Yes.
the whole qualification. Which sort of skills the students gonna develop in this course?
So our main goal when you complete the 2 years program
basically
is for the
job
students.
outcomes.
It's for the students to be job ready. So as soon as you complete the course, you'll be ready to work as a carpenter, as a cabinet maker, or as a joiner. All right. So we have like so many opportunities in these fields. Like construction, the building construction is like the third biggest large industry in Australia. So you have so many job opportunities all over Australia, right? So so as soon as they complete this, they have all their skills, the acquired skills for them to apply towards the work. Yeah.
And this, of course, is a big industry.
Yes, it's massive in Australia.
In Australia,
so many job opportunities. Yes.
Yeah. So you mentioned that studying the carpentry course, the students will get skills to be a carpenter, a joiner, or
yes.
And do you know the average salary for this position?
So once you complete at the beginning stage, you'll be earning around $45. Once you reach highest level of qualification knowledge, more experience you're acquiring throughout the time, you'll be able to earn more than $60 per hour. So it'll be between this range from $45 to $60. All right. This is the information we have from people in the market, in the industry at the moment. So they'll be earning around this range from $45 to $60 hours. Yes. Which, if you think about it, now like if someone working in an office doesn't make that much money. So as a trade course, you get a lot of money out of this qualification. Yeah.
That's good. And what are the entry requirements for this course?
Right. Overall, when you're starting the certificate 3-4, when you're applying with us, you need at least 5.0 IELTS or equivalent. So if you're finishing your English course and you are on intermediate level, that's enough for us. If you don't have an English certificate, we do accept our placement test. Okay, so you can go to our website. So Fernando will be able to guide you through all this admission process. So you can do the placement test with us, but it is required at least 5.0 IELTS or intermediate level. Okay? For academic requirements, you need at least year 10 or 11. Okay, depending on which country you're coming from. If you are in Australia and you have completed already a certificate 2, there will be enough for you to start the certificate 3 with us. Okay.
Easy. And how do I know if this course is right for me? So that's yesterday I have a student. He came here and he said, "I don't know what I should do.
Yeah.
I have a different background from Brazil. I don't know what to do."
Okay. Yeah, we need to narrow the options, right? We need to understand where's the student coming from, what's the background and everything. But basically, this course it requires a lot of hands-on course, right? So you need to be at least physically fit in order to do this course and be able to do everything, all the work. Yeah, you need to be like sharp-minded. So because you have a lot of maths, all the units, so you need a lot of calculations that you'll be doing. As it is involved with building and construction, not just carpentry itself. It involves a lot of other units and subjects during the course. So if you like maths, if you like hands-on work, and pretty sure that will be something that you enjoy. If you compare to cookery, let's say as an example, I don't like to be stuck in a place where I can't go out and everything. Like if you're working as a carpenter, you will be pretty much outside like the whole day, working different sites. So we have more variety of places instead of just being stuck in one particular place.
Okay. And how is the structure of the course? Practical and theoretical classes, how are the assessments? You mentioned about the blocks and everything, but can you
Yes, the theoretical parts, they'll be doing lots of exercises in the classroom. All right, so they'll be watching videos, they'll be doing lots of assignments and projects, practical demonstrations. All right, this is when they're in class or at the college. When they go for the workshop, it's important to mention, both campuses in Perth and Adelaide, the workshop is not at the college, it is in a different site. Okay, so once you enroll with admissions, we try to have like these camps close to the these sites close to the campus with easy access for you guys, or maybe have car park or easy public transport as well. So for both campuses, you have easy access to get that. Okay. During the practical, you'll be learning how to manage the tools, how to use everything. So it's a lot of hands-on work. So we'll be building, let's build a chair or start building a roof. A lot of hands-on work, to be honest. So then we'll be doing both and assignments as well in order to meet all the requirements for the course. Group activities, verbal and written questions, and yes.
Okay.
Okay.
And assessments are gonna be both practical and theoretical.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay.
Because it's important to mention the timetable of the course. Once they start, we just recently had new change with the Department of Education, so we had to accommodate and update our curriculum. So during the first term, the student, which is pretty much for 10 weeks, the student needs to attend 24 hours per week. So basically 3 days. Our course, the Carpentry, is from Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Okay. After the first term, after this, they go for only 2.5 days. So basically, 24 hours per week plus 4 hours e-learning. So it'll be Monday and Tuesday from 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. and Wednesday half day, 8 a.m. until 12 p.m. Okay, and then the e-learning course as well.
Okay. And well, we already answered that. My next question would be how demanding is the course, or how many days per week?
Yeah.
But we already know how many days per week. But is it a very demanding course? Does the student need to do a lot of homework?
Guys, it's important for you to understand, it is a trade course, right? So you have a lot to learn. It's not like when you compare to a course that you're just gonna read books and you, at the end of the day, you will learn how to, how to calculate these things or what, or no, it's a lot of hands-on work. So you'll be doing a lot of theoretical parts and practical class. So it is demanding, all right, when you work in the college and outside of the college as well. So it's important to keep that in mind. It will take you a lot of time to do the assignments, so it's important for you to attend class, otherwise how you gonna be able to finish and complete the units and all the assessments and everything. So it will be quite demanding, to be honest with you, but we can always work in something out to better accommodate the student needs as well.
Okay. And do the students need to have any background related to this, or
not at all? Not at all. As I said, the academic requirements, if they complete the high school or they just started, let's say, a vocational course even from back home, they can start the course. They don't need to have any background experience, academic experience related to the carpentry. That's why Certificate 3, as an entry level, they'll be able to acquire all these skills and knowledge in order to become a carpenter at the end of the course.
Okay. And how does the work placement work? Is it included in the program? Do the college help the student to get a placement? So
as I said at the beginning, the course is divided in 8 blocks. When the student goes to blocks 7 and 8, towards the end of the course, they will be allocated in the placement. So they have 2 options actually. If they don't have a placement, we'll be allocating. It's our responsibility to allocate the student in each placement, which is non-paid, okay? Yep. If the student is already working as a carpenter in the industry, what will happen is our trainer will need to go to the site, visit, do all the assessments, talk to the employer, and see if it meets all the requirements for the course, for the placement itself. If it doesn't, we'll need to relocate the students in order to meet the requirements of the course at the end. All right, so
if
it is included.
Already working in the industry, is it possible if the student's doing the the tasks and everything,
Yes.
it's possible to consider their employment as a work placement.
That won't be a problem at all. So it's also important to keep in mind, because what is required for this occupation at the end. So I'm sure Claudio will explain you a bit better all this. For TRA, which is the Skills Assessment Authority, it is required 360 hours. We will be providing the student 480 hours placement. So we'll be doing much more than what is required. So that's why it's 6 months. If you divide the 480 hours for 20 hours per week, it will give you 24 weeks, which will cover this 6 months course. Okay.
And when can I start this course in Adelaide or Perth campus?
Yes. So the intakes are the same for both campuses. Okay, we have 4 intakes per year. We just had one this Monday on the 11th of January. The next one available will be 12 April. After that, 12 July, and then 11 October. Okay, we do have intakes for 2022 as well. If you can go visit our website, you can see all the dates and intakes available for the following years. Okay.
Okay. And you guys have any questions? If you do, just let us know. And in regards to the school, the course,
things good to mention, guys, about the job opportunities. As a carpenter, you don't need just I'll be working for someone. If you think like you have a open-minded, you can open your own business and start working just for yourself, and then will be able to make much more money than what I said. Like you'll be earning between $45 to $6 per hour. You'll be able to make much more than that as you operate in your own business. So think about that. It's also a great career opportunity for yourself in the future, of course.
After the 2 years.
Have any questions there?
Questions? Let me just come here. Let's people just. Okay, no questions so far. And what about other, we know we are gonna have other lives with Mitch about the other courses they have, but briefly,
we do offer other courses, guys. As I said at the beginning, we focus mainly on trade courses. So we have different programs as automotive courses. So we have 2 options for the automotive, going for the 2 years package or 2.5 years package. So we offer from the certificate 3 up to diploma of automotive management. We do offer the commercial cookery certificate 4 and diploma of hospitality, advanced diploma of telecommunications, network engineering, certificate 3 and diploma in childcare, diploma, advanced diploma of business. In Perth, we do offer the marketing course. We are not running the course in Adelaide anymore, and the commercial cookery is only at Adelaide campus, not in Perth. Okay.
We have here a question: if we know when the borders are gonna be opened. We don't, Chris. Sorry about that.
Correct answer,
we don't have this information
we
yet.
Hope we had. Yeah.
But we believe as soon as the vaccination starts and in the other countries as well, that's important, because I don't believe they would allow people to come
without the vaccine. Yes. So hopefully by the second beginning of July, August, hopefully things will.
But we don't have any date or any privileged information. What is included as material?
So the material, guys, is important for you. You have all the protector tools and everything that you need, like the helmet, the glasses, gloves, boots, and everything. So all of that, it is included in the material. Okay. There's a lot of things that you're going to be using. Because the high vis, because it's very important as well as construction. You'll be working a construction site.
Probably
there'll be boots, the glasses, the helmet.
Just
a little
quick
technician problem here. We're back.
We are back. So
So Leonardo, Claudio will be joining us in a few minutes, so he'll be able to explain what are the migration outcomes of this course, and just hang on, bear with us a bit more, and then he'll be able to explore what the migration pathways for this course. Okay.
Any other questions?
So who is in Perth and is watching us? We are very excited. Not just we have just got a big site for the workshop. So it's 6,300 square meter sites. They'll be split divided by the automotive course and the carpentry. So we'll be able soon we'll be sharing all the photos and everything. Here in Adelaide, our campus for the carpentry will be in Underdale. So it's 15 minutes drive from the city. Sorry. 15 minutes drive. We have a public transport bus from Helen Beach Road, so it will be really easy to locate from the city to the campus. Okay, really good. Who else? So what time is he joining us? 5:30.
It's 5:30. So we still have 9 minutes, guys. You can send more questions.
Don't be shy.
Don't be shy. Mitch is here to answer you.
So we're not in the live when we're talking about the entry requirements. Just to go back there, it is 5.0 IELTS or equivalent. So who is studying English, it is considered intermediate level. Okay, if you're studying English at the moment.
It's very important because it's not a high level of
It's
English.
not a high requirements, so it's pretty easy. As I say, in case you're not studying, in case your partner is studying and you haven't studied English at all in Australia, but you have English knowledge, you can do and see it for our placement test, which is online, free of charge. So you can do the test without charge. You can come to Information Planner office, do the test using the computers, or you can come to our campus and use our computers as well. There won't be a problem, or you can do it at your own place.
When the hands-on is started, when they are gonna really
hands-on, the practical. All right, probably Fran. So Fran, you're not here at the beginning. So as I was saying, the course is divided in 8 blocks. Okay, first and second block will be basically in the classroom. Okay, after that, after the second, so let's say divided, the first semester will be just theory. After the second semester, they start going to the workshop. So they start doing a lot of work outside of the college. They'll be going to the workshop, start building chairs, building roofs, a lot of hands-on work, okay? As well as the assignments and projects in class, okay? This goes from the block 3 up to the block 6. When they go, after they complete this and get all this knowledge, they start doing the placement from the block 7. Okay, in case they don't have the placement, we'll be allocating the students in each placement. Okay, there won't be a problem. So it's our responsibility as part of our curriculum to have the 480 hours placement. So we will be allocating each student at their own placement. Okay.
Let's see.
Sorry, my voice is breaking down a little bit. What is the total of months of studying? Okay, even though you're doing the placement, you still need to do the assessments, okay? During the placement, the work-based training, you still have a logbook and you still need to comply with all the units because each, let's say, when you're doing the work placement, you'll be doing everything that you learn during the 1.5 years, you'll be applying during the placement. So this
related to the unit.
It is 100% related because if you don't have that done, you won't be able to get the qualification at the end. Okay, so everything that you learn throughout the 1.5 years from the 78 weeks, you'll be applying on the last semester. Okay, and then you should be doing should need to do the logbook showing everything that you're applying, all the work you're doing on your placement on your own work. Okay, so pretty much you'll be going to the college for 1.5 years. Okay, after that you'll be doing just the placement.
But the course is 2 years.
2 years program.
Duration.
Yes, it's 104 weeks, including breaks. Okay. During the placement, the trainer needs to go to the sites. So the trainer will be doing regular visits, so visiting the employer, see how you're doing, how you're coping with the work, and then assessing your progress as well. Okay.
All right. Any other questions? Yes.
It's compulsory. Yes, Leonardo. Yes, it is part of the course. It is compulsory, which is also a requirement for the TRA, which is the assessment authority for the trades recognition Australia for the carpentry occupation. Okay, so it is compulsory for the course. Yes. And so there is any support from the school to get it? Yes. So as I said, we'll be allocating you at the work placement. In case you don't find a job, you're not working in the industry, we'll be allocating you. Okay. So as part of the curriculum, you'll be getting the 480 hours for sure.
Good.
Okay.
Let's see. Any other question? Oh.
Anything else?
Okay, let me try to get and see if Claudio is already available.
He was online there. Do we have to invite him?
Yes.
Okay.
And 7. I'm not very good at this technology stuff. Okay, 7 migration. Is it 7?
Yeah,
oh,
that's right.
Claudio. Oh.
Thank you for all answers. No problem, Leonardo. Any questions? Contact Fernanda. Or me.
Or me. Cool.
No problem. Guys, you're more than welcome to come to the Toronto campus. We are located at level 1 in Adelaide, level 1 East, 50 Grenfell Street. In Perth, we are located at 10 Victoria Street. Okay, and our other campus, let me just open this one for you. The other campus on East Perth, it is level 4, 35 Bennett Street, East Perth, Western Australia. Okay.
We are waiting for Claudio because we are a bit early to ask him to invite him to join us. Is there any other questions or Mitch, do you think this career is
7 migrations and maybe to enjoy?
Yeah, let's wait a little bit more. Of course, we don't have the lists yet. I know that you were gonna ask that to Claudio. Unfortunately, South Australia hasn't released it yet. But hopefully it's gonna be.
But don't think just about the migration outcomes. I know it is important. Most of people going or planning to go to a regional area, they are focused on that. But if you also think about the career outcomes that you have out of this course, it is massive. It is great. So if you do enjoy hands-on work, carpentry is always a good option for you. And you have so many job opportunities, not just in South Australia, but in the big cities as well. So in the case in the future, you're planning to move to a bigger city, carpenter or, as I said, joiner or cabinet maker, you have many job opportunities there as well.
I think that's the main, the key factor for studying this course.
Yes. And all the money you invested, to be honest, during these 2 years, you'll be able to get this in return like so quickly, better than working in hospital. Nothing against hospitality or any cleaning jobs. You know, there's other jobs that will be supporting the students during the studies, but you'll be able to make so much more money once you are graduate of this course, and it'll be worth it. Is this course for sure
suitable for women?
Absolutely. Absolutely, yes. We do have a woman enrolling in this course as well, so that won't be a problem, girls. So please join us. We'll be more than happy to have you there as well.
All right.
As a cabinet maker, there the job opportunities there as well. Nothing there.
I think. Let me try invite Claudio again. Oh, let's see if he's
right on time, 5:30. Where are you guys from? Where are you guys watching us? Are you guys in Adelaide, in Perth, Sydney, Brazil, somewhere in Europe? Dança Brazil. I believe Dança Brazil is in Adelaide, isn't it? It's Adelaide, yes.
I think most of them are from Adelaide.
That Hiromi, I believe she's from Perth.
Yeah.
See? Austrália para todos. Waiting for Claudio. Okay, guys. Bear for us a few more minutes, please. Sorry. Don't want to keep you waiting too long. Okay. Let's try server migration again.
Again, yeah. As you can see, he's more technological than me.
Sorry. We still have some people joining us. Hello, Maria. Laís. Hello, Claudio. There he is. Oh, oops. We got too excited here.
Sorry, I'm late. I'm home, that's why.
Thank you. We're in the office, guys. We're not in a lockdown. But you're not either.
Sorry?
You're in a lockdown?
No.
No, right?
No.
Okay.
No.
That's good.
Okay, guys. So Claudio from 7 Migration. Claudio, if you want to introduce yourself, I think everyone already know you. You've been doing these lives since the end of last year. So we are gonna have some more sessions throughout this month and next month. So we'll be seeing Claudio, myself, even Mitch more.
Yeah, okay. For those who don't know me, my name is Claudio. I'm a senior migration agent and director at 7 Migration. We share the office with IP Adelaide. So for everyone who visits the office in Adelaide, for IP, we will also be visiting 7. Same happened in Perth. We have a long partnership. It extends to all cities. So we are work together, and we try to bring IP students with the best migration plan.
Yeah. So Claudio, today we are talking about the carpentry course. So if I study this course, am I eligible to migrate? And what are the migration pathways?
Okay, it's not just a study, but of course you have to start with studying, right? So if you want to apply for a skill visa, you have to be a skilled professional. And to become a skilled professional, immigration usually wants you to be qualified and experienced. So the qualification is just the first step, but it will something that will take you on a pathway to perhaps applying to PR through the permanent visa after a while. The great thing about carpentry, as it is with other trades occupations, is that it allows students to apply for the graduate visa. And during the graduate visa, they have 18 months. They have to do 1 year work experience. Then they can perhaps go and apply for a stay nomination. Usually, especially in South Australia, where the stay nomination program is usually very broad and it includes many occupations. Not in this moment, obviously, because of the pandemic, but it is usually very broad and inclusive and includes many occupations. Carpentry is definitely an occupation that is very likely to be in the list. It was, and until the pandemic started, and it will probably return once this all gets behind us.
Hopefully soon.
Hopefully. How good should be my English if I want to migrate through as a carpenter?
Yeah, that's another good thing about carpentry. The state will not usually require a very high point score and not a very high English score. So for most people, competent English, which is 6 on IELTS or 50 on PTE, will suffice. But of course, we have to take into consideration other factors, such as the points test, the applicant's age. If they are over 40, it's more likely they will need a higher English score. But even even if for people who have a lower point score, if they don't reach a very high English score, they can still have other ways to gather points and maybe apply for the 491, for example, which gives the same 10 extra points comparing to the 190. And if the person doesn't want to reach 7, but is okay at applying with 6 for the 491 instead of the 190, it's fine. It will depend on the person on a case-by-case basis. But for the occupation, and this is something that people have to consider, sometimes it's not just about the points, but it's also about the state nomination requirements. And occupations such as engineering or IT, they state, despite your points test, usually the state will require a higher score because it is expected from an engineer or an IT professional. But for carpentry, because it's more hands-on, they don't care much about your English. Of course, you have to reach the minimum point score and the minimum required for the skill visa. But for most people, 6 on IELTS will be sufficient.
Okay. And how do I know if I meet all the requirements for a skilled visa?
For a skill visa, we first always have to think about how the person will meet the skills assessment eligibility, how they will have a skills assessment approved for that occupation. And for carpentry, it involves a 2-year course, certificate 3 in carpentry, plus 1 year experience after their qualification as a carpenter. And if you have the skills assessment, it's a great a step towards your PR. We also have to consider your point score to see if you have the minimum point score for either the 190 or the 491. And another thing, we have to check what are the requirements that the state has when you meet those requirements. So I always say to my clients that for people who are still planning to start on a carpentry course now, don't worry about the list that is going to be released soon. Don't worry about the list that will come in July this year or next year or the other year. They'll have to worry about the list of 2023. So it's far away. So just, go study the course, get your experience, and then we'll talk about state nomination requirements. First thing is to get a positive skills assessment. And to do so, you need a course plus experience.
Okay.
Can I ask you a thing, Claudio? Our course gives you 480 hours vocational placement. Is this enough for them?
That's enough. The job ready program, the people, your students will have to qualify for a skills assessment as a carpenter with TRA will involve 4 steps. The first step being the conclusion of the course, and a course involving at least 360 hours of work placement. So 480 is more than sufficient.
Beautiful.
Good. And how much do I need to save for a PR process?
First, you have to talk to Mitch, see if what the course is going to cost. Well, it's a long process. There are many steps people will have to take. Each one of them has its own cost, especially depending on the person's situation, right? The circumstances of the person. If, for example, it's a single applicant, everything will be cheaper. The visa application will be cheaper. This health insurance will be cheaper. So we have to assess that. So what I can say is after you finish your studies, we are now with a promotion for the graduate visa with the skills assessment stage 1 for TIA. So people can send an email to us. We can send a quote, promotional quote for them, especially for IP students who have a 25% discount on top of that. So it's a big deal. So when you finish your course, we're going to be applying your graduate visa promotional price. A single applicant should not spend more than 3,500 for the whole 485 application. They will still have to do all the three stages of the graduate visa, the job ready program. What the most expensive step is the practical assessment, is $2,000. So that, and if the person is single, when they are going to apply for state nomination and application, it should come something around $8,000, $7,000, $8,000. So altogether, people will have to be prepared to spend 12 to 13,000 plus whatever they will spend with the education agency.
Okay. We have a question here. Can I apply for my citizenship test after 1 year in a visa 190?
Yes. So after 1 year, as long as you have been in Australia for 4 years, then 1 year after the 190 granted, you can apply for citizenship.
Okay. For those who be granted with 190 visa, need to stay on the regional for more 2 years?
The 190 is not a regional visa. It's a state-owned visa, right? So you don't have to be on regional. You have to be on the state you have been nominated. So if you have been nominated for the 190 in South Australia, yes, because South Australia is regional, you have to be in South Australia, which it is a regional area, but you can be nominated for the 190 in Victoria, for example. And if that's the case, you can live anywhere in Victoria, including Melbourne. The same with New South Wales and Sydney. 190 also works for Sydney for people who have been nominated by New South Wales. But if the question is directed to an applicant for the 190 in South Australia, they will have to stay in Adelaide for 2 years at least, and South Australia.
Australia.
Yeah.
Where is this South Australia list?
The most popular question since July 2020.
We've
been all waiting for it.
It was my fault actually, because last week I did a live with and I said no, next week the list from South Australia will come for sure. I'm very confident, but I don't know, something.
Still waiting for that.
We have to understand that the state came back to work on Monday. So they will probably still finalizing things for the list. But like I said, unless you are ready to apply for your PR before June 2021, that list will be important to you. Otherwise, don't worry. If you're still in the halfway through your course and you still have to do work experience when you graduate, that list is not for you. This list is just a guidance, so we know how the state will behave after the pandemic. But this list only goes from the moment they are announced until 30th of June 2021. So for any people who will apply after that, it's not for you.
Okay.
Is the food technology profession in New South Wales 2021 list?
Food technologist.
New South Wales was probably one of the worst lists. It had only 31 patients. Most of them are health or engineering or IT. I don't have the list in front of me, but I think I find it highly unlikely that food technologies is there. Maybe in July 2021.
And do you think the list will change much from last year? Well, let's say 2019, I think.
Maybe this that will come here now, that's going to be released very soon. Maybe we will have some adaptations to, like because of the pandemic, the allocation it has been very limited. So the state doesn't have many immigration places to distribute on the state nomination program. So they will probably select better the occupations that will be available. It was different from WA in Western Australia because the state did not invite anyone from the 1st of July until the 3rd of January. So it had been stopped for 6 months with no invitations at all. So when the list came back, it came with all the occupations because in WA, everything is normal. We don't have, the last case was in May, and we have everything working now here. So that was probably reflected on the list, and most occupations were there just because the state saved its allocation to use now. And they're only going to have 6 invitation rounds to invite everyone. So that was reflected. But South Australia kept inviting. It was an interim program. Not all occupations were invited, but they were still inviting nurses and agricultural technicians and engineers, IT professionals. They were still issuing invitations. And they have used part of their allocated quota. So I think they will select better the occupations that will be now. But I'm pretty sure that this is just going to be temporary. It's just a phase that we're going through. In July 2021, new allocation, new financial year, and it will probably go back to the levels they were before. So if it's not too good, this list, don't change states, don't go to anywhere else. Stay in South Australia because things will get better soon.
Okay, don't freak out then. There's another question, Thais. She's asking, am I able to reach the 65 points for the 190 without work experience? She's graduating as a environmental engineer. She's 25 years old. Ended up staying in Australia and want to go for a PR pathway.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's completely possible. 25 years old, maximum points of age. If it's a bachelor degree, very good point score for qualification. If you studied in South Australia, studying regional gives very high points as well. And the only thing is your English will probably be on a proficient level. So it's completely possible to apply without work experience. The only thing we have to assess also what are the state nomination requirements will be. So perhaps you will have like 80 points without work experience, but the state will not invite you unless you have worked in your field in South Australia. And that's what's happening now. The state is only inviting people who have been working in their field in the state. So even if you have 100 points, doesn't matter. If you don't have work experience in the state, they won't nominate you today. But it might change. But I would count on working in their field in South Australia as being one of the features for next requirements.
Okay. With 45 years old, what's the best strategy to move to Australia? That's a question from Mario.
If you're 45, there's 2 pathways, not as many. But if you are 45, do move to South Australia, which is the only state that has the DAMA program that for some occupations go up to 55 years old. So that's probably the only option people have with over 45 years old.
Claudio,
but
is carpentry in this list?
Sorry?
Is carpentry in this list for the DAMA list?
DAMA, I don't have the list here in front of me. I would guess it is because it's very inclusive. It has many occupations there. But DAMA is only for... But carpenters, they're much better options unless people are 45 years old. If they're not 45 years old and they are concluding a carpentry course, there are many other better pathways than DAMA. So I would just suggest them for those who have no other option. So, okay, I am 47 years old. What can I do? Yeah, maybe go to them because you don't have any other option. But for someone who is 41, 42, and studying carpentry, we can still go for the skill visa, stay nomination, which is a better pathway for sure.
Okay.
We have another question here, Claudio, from Paulo. The company needs to be related to our skilled position in case of sponsorship. He gave an example. If the company working in tiling area but need to hire someone for the office job, like a telecommunications, a technical telecommunications, is that okay?
Immigration will assess the genuinity of the position, right? The genuineness of the position. It cannot look weird, right? So, for example, if it's a restaurant nominating a carpenter, what's the sense of that? Why a restaurant would need a carpenter? But if it's a tiling company nominating a carpenter, as long as they can explain to immigration why that particular company needs a carpenter, and they can make a business case to prove that that position is needed, that it can work out. But I wouldn't risk, for example, a carpenter working anywhere else other than something related to construction, because it will not go. Immigration will know that it's not genuine, and it's very likely it is possible they will refuse the application. And if they refuse, so you wasted lots of money, time, and probably putting your migration plan in bad shape.
Yeah. One more question. After finish a degree here for migration purposes, do we have to do an English test?
For any skill visa, you will need to do an English test, and for the graduate visa as well. The minimum English for anyone who will be applying a skill visa is 6 on IELTS, competent English, 50 on PTE. But it might be the case that we will need a higher English score depending on the points test score or the occupation's requirements. Usually for carpenter, like I said, competent English is sufficient, but depending on the person's age, qualification, relationship, it might be the case that we will need a higher English score.
Okay. Another question: what's the prospect for someone who is already 42 years old and has graduated from sociology and has more than 7 years work experience in sales and marketing?
That's a very specific question. We'll have to assess.
Schedule an appointment with Claudia.
Book an appointment, and then we will assess. I'll have to check the resume, see where the person studied, how was the experience, what's the level of English. It will depend on many factors, and it's a bit off the subject of a carpenter course and everything. So I would recommend this person to book an appointment, and we can talk about their specific situation.
Okay. About the other question, without work experience, it's not possible to get a positive skills assessment. It's a pre-required, which is pre-required for the skilled visa. So
depending on it depends on the situation. Carpenter, specifically, you will need 1 year work experience after you finish the certificate 3 for sure. That's no other way. And it's the same for any other trade occupations. But there are some occupations that don't, depending on the skills assessment authority. Some skills assessment authority don't require people to have experience. But even though the skills assessment authority may not require, the state may require, all we may need is 4-point score. So I always say, don't start a course or don't start a career think that you will be able to apply without working in their field. It's very unlikely given the moment that we need English for experience for skills assessment points, stage, and everything. So you always have to choose a pathway that you think that you will be able to find a job in Australia. Because sooner or later, or one way or another, someone will ask you work experience, either the skills assessment authority or the state, or even me on a point score. I can say, look, you have to work to gain more points. But the state, especially South Australia, today only people who have been working for 3 months in their field in South Australia are eligible to apply. So consider that you will have to apply, and if it's a carpenter course, for sure, 12 months at least.
Okay. So guys, we only have 4 minutes now before Instagram shuts out us. I would like to thank you, Mitch, for joining us and explaining all about the course structure and everything. Thank you, Claudio, as well, for being with us this afternoon. Guys, we are gonna have some more upcoming lives. So next week we are gonna talk about cookery courses again. All the lives are on our IGTV. So it's like a whole sessions with different professions. And then in the following week, we are gonna have, after next week, the following week, we are gonna have meet again for the automotive course.
I'll be back, guys.
So thank you, Claudio.
Thank you.
Thanks, Claudia. Thanks for having me. Thanks for all the information, for the career outcomes, and all the details and everything. Thanks for your time. And thanks for having me, Fernanda. Thanks for opening the space for us to promote the college and the course. Always a pleasure to be here.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. See you next time.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
And now.